Let's talk about the other winner, or one of the huge winners of the offseason, too, on the East Coast, and that's the Atlanta Hawks. Hate to say it, but it's true. But it's true. My Knicks are going to have to worry about the Atlanta Hawks next year. I actually think the Hawks are a horrible matchup for the Knicks. Don't want to get to that specifically, but love what the Hawks have done this offseason. They added KP now in day one of free agency. They add Nickeil Alexander Walker. They add Luke Kennard. Just love what they're doing here. A lot of depth. They get Okongu's probably getting a lot of playing time now that Clint Capella's gone. You open up, a lot of minutes for him. With Trae Young, what you got to do is you got to surround him with shooters, people who can run the pick and roll and who can defend their ass off. And you do that with Nickeil Alexander Walker. Luke Kennard can hit the three, one of the best three-point shooters in the league. You add KP, who can stretch the floor, also protect the rim, play, guard fours and fives. I think the Hawks have had such a good offseason that I'm actually thinking that, to me right now, the tiers in the East are like Cavs and Knicks up top, and it's only because of how they finished last year. I don't know how good the Magic and Hawks are going to be, but to me, they're right. They're right there. I don't know. It wouldn't shock me if either the Magic or the Hawks finish as the 2 seed next year, specifically the Hawks.
I mean, I might put the Hawks over the Knicks right now, bro.
I wouldn't blame you. I'm not gonna lie.
I might put the Hawks over the Knicks just because we'll talk about Knicks a little bit later. But some of the lineups the Hawks can throw out there are really ridiculous, and not just offensively, defensively.
Dyson Daniels gave Jalen Brunson even when Jalen was scoring on him, it was so freaking difficult.
Yeah, it's like you just said. I think I'm trying to remember who who tweeted it. I think Nickeil, NBA. He tweeted out that if in the game the Hawks lead by 2 and there's 13 seconds left, in the defensive lineup they can put out there with Nickeil, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Ricochet, and Okongu. That's a 5 they can put out there with just pure length. They can switch
crazy
and lock down. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And like you said, adding Luke Kennard, a great shooter. They've made solid moves this offseason. And if they have a healthy KP, I think that's to me that's the difference maker with them. If they have a healthy KP, that's a potential number 1 team in the East.
Wow.
Yeah, to me. Yeah, if they have a healthy KP with how well, I feel like we got to the point where Trae Young has been so consistent.
He's so underrated.
He gets swept under the rug every
it's so
year.
Crazy to me. I mean, because obviously I'm a Knicks fan, so we chant F Trae Young outside the building at Madison Square Garden when we win.
Yeah.
I don't specifically, but the fan base does. I think people have forgotten how good Trae Young is, man. There's nobody I would rather have the ball in their hands with going off of a pick and roll, because he's unstoppable in a pick and roll situation. He really is. You just gotta hope that he's missing his shot if he decides to pull it, because he can make every pass off of the pick and roll, and he can shoot off the pick and roll off the dribble. He's just impossible to guard.
And now you surround him with wings who can guard, who can hit shots, and a big like KP when he's healthy, who can hit shots, can spread the floor.
Right.
They have the potential to be the best team in the East.
Yeah, and to me, the problem with the Hawks also, the past few years, wasn't so much the offense either. It was defensively, they just couldn't stop teams when they needed to stop teams.
Yeah.
And now you had Dyson Daniels, which was a great pickup. Now you had Nickeil Alexander Walker. KP again is someone who can guard the paint and can guard stretch bigs if need be. Again, KP has to be healthy. Jalen comes back. He's someone who could play. It's insane. What they've built. Shout out to, I know they have a new general manager. Forgive me for Hawks fans. I don't know his name. But they fired Landry Fields essentially.
Yeah.
And their new GM is doing work. Just turned around the whole franchise. Honestly, with some help with Landry, because I thought Landry made some good moves too, especially Dyson in particular. Yeah, gotta give the Hawks credit, man. I don't know if I'm ready to say they're the number 1 seed, but like I just said before, it wouldn't surprise me if either the Hawks or Magic, but specifically the Hawks, end up being your 2 seed, end up being a 3 seed somehow. I thought going into this offseason, I thought it was very clear with the Halliburton injury, with the Tatum injury, with the Dame injury, that it was very clear it was Cavs, Knicks at the top, and everybody in the East is just kind of trying to catch up. I think you can make the case that the Hawks We haven't seen them play, but you can make the case that the Hawks are in that tier now. And maybe the Magic, too.
Yeah.
Maybe the Magic.
Yeah, I just like I said, it's like potential is a scary word, but they have the potential to be the best team in the East to me.